Welcome back, people. So anyway, here's the next one that we're tuning. We've had this one in before. This is a 1976 Leyland Clubman. Now, last time it was in, we noticed that it had some engine issues going on. We were able to improve it, and Andy gave us the run through after driving it. So as you can see, it's all been rebuilt. So he's had that carried out. So yeah, it had a somewhat of a fresh engine thrown in, but unfortunately I've had to do some remedial work to it. So I've just put the fuel pressure regulator on there. As you can see from the gauge over here, we're running about 6 psi of fuel pressure, so we will get on to sorting that out. I have put a new fuel pump on and sorted out a number of oil leaks on the car. But besides that, we'll go through and set this up now so it's all correct and make sure it's efficient, but also got plenty of power. Yeah, so these tunes aren't just for economy, these are just to, they're an all-rounder. So anyway, we'll get into this, make sure it's all right as rain, and go from there. So it does have a, I have been told it has a Cooper cam in it, but there's no specs on the invoice from what the owner or myself has seen. So whatever the engine builder, well, the mechanic has fitted is anyone's guess as to what that cam actually means. So it could be a 731 or a 266, but anyway, we'll go through, dial the tuning in, get that all sorted out. I'm suspecting it's going to be running leaner than what it was when I did the last tune on it. But anyway, we'll get this in the workshop, get it all warmed up, get it set up on the analyzer. So anyway, I've got the analyzer hooked up to it, and that's what we're idling at. So I was under the impression that it was going to be lean. Yeah, I haven't touched the mixture on that. So that's how it was, exactly how it is as it's been delivered. Now I have replaced the fuel pump on it, and being that it's delivering the 6 to 6.5 psi. I mean, I would have expected that to be running rich, especially with that air filter on there too. But anyway, I'll just set the timing light up, and so I'll set that up here so you can see. We'll run it through the rev range as it sits. Prior to, I haven't checked any of the leads, I haven't checked any of the plugs. It does already have a new distributor and new leads on it as my last tune, but just to show you what it's doing this time round. 4 wash rich. Now it's borderline. Mediocre. Yeah. That's the sort of tune that would ruin any engine. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the air filter off, just to prove that the air filter could be the restriction. Hang on, let's get this off so we can see what is going on. Alright, so I'll place that there. Am I taking readings on it? I'm doing I'm doing it right now. Even with the air filter on. See, as we've just seen now, it's now in the 18s at idle. So now we'll go through. Again, the fuel pressure hasn't changed. Yeah, that was just Will asking if I'd done readings beforehand. And That's ball wash rich. Fires off to be far too lean now. Yeah, I can be. That is all over the show, and I can hear the engine not responding well to that. So, no matter which way you cut it, this hasn't been set up correctly. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to richen up that fuel mixture to make that, you know, correct. So bear with me, and I'll just. Now the RPM's actually picking up, so I'll get that at about 13.8 to 14 AFR is where I generally like them to be set. So I will also wind back the idle mixture through, because now, as you can see, we're idling at 1200 RPM, which would also affect the idle mixture. Now, just bear with me. Now we'll just wind it back to about 900, give or take. There we go. So I'll just richen that up a little bit more. Lean it out a little bit. And we're gonna set it about there. I'm thinking that's gonna be, for some reason that just went a little bit richer. It's now a very fine adjustment. So just to baseline it, obviously fuel pressure is still an issue. So we'll just go through this now. Still bore wash rich. Mediocre. Stop right there. I'm not going to go any further with that. I'm going to correct the fuel pressure now and see how much of an effect that has. So I'll set the camera up here and I'll move it around like this. So to adjust these, and I will show you, so I'll just move my other toolbox around so I've got a better angle of things and a better accessibility for the tools. So it is a 12mm top nut, which I will just drop into the abyss. Don't worry. Found it. So undo the top nut on there. And we are running lean again. We're at 17 AFR. So I will just undo this. So if I actually wind that up, it won't let any more pressure through, because that's the maximum amount of pressure. So that's the maximum amount of pressure that pump is putting out right now. So I'm going to wind that off, and I'm going to go to about 1.5 PSI. So I'm just going to let that do its thing, and I'm going to have to richen this mixture up because it is taking off, because I'm taking fuel away from it. So it's sitting at about 13, we're at 3 PSI now. I'm going to wind that off just a little bit more. I'll see if I can get in there a little bit closer. Sorry that the camera doesn't quite focus. I'm actually unscrewing this. Let's see if I can get a reaction out of it. I seem to have run out of adjustment on that. A little bit tricky to do with one hand, so, and for some reason I can't get that any lower than 3 psi. So, bear with me and I'll try and work out what's going on here. I'll be back in a minute. Okay, as silly as this looks, I have tried another fuel pressure regulator just in case there was something going on with it, but I think it's actually the fuel pressure regulator is just not big enough to control the fueling. So this is what I've got so far, is both of them are not connected, as you can see. So this one's actually bolted in, this one's just sitting here floating around. I've got the fuel pressure to 2.2, 2.5, which is still too much pressure for this wee little unit. In the meantime, I can still go through the rest of the tune and dial that in. So we'll shut this all down, we'll go through the ignition system, get that all set up. I will be rechecking the coil, rechecking the leads, checking spark plug gaps as well, making sure that the correct heat range and the gaps to should be 25,000. Go through and set up the ignition timing as well, and make sure that the vacuum advance unit has not died in the interim from being in last year and having the engine rebuilt, which I would say hopefully not, but you just never know unless you're checking them. So anyway, we'll get further into it and see what we can come up with. So, got the spark plugs out, and not a terrible colour. They are looking fairly decent. Nothing really to say much about there. I haven't gapped them yet or checked the gaps on them. So yeah, although going down this end, this one's a little bit cleaner, which would typically indicate an ignition power fault, but also looks like it could do with a bit of a timing adjustment too. But anyway, I'll get those. And these are BP 5ES spark plugs, NGKs. So they are the correct heat range for the engine. So yeah, I'll go through and gap those, throw them back in, and carry on with it. Make sure I've got the correct dwell on this as well. This is a electronic unit, so I'll just double check this just to be sure. So anyway, so we're going to go through and set up the ignition timing now. So I've just got the timing light all hooked up. I've got the little cover off the side. I've gone through and checked the dwell angle. I've checked the spark plug gaps. They're all 25 there. I'm really happy with those. But I'll go through and check the ignition timing now. So first things first, disconnect the vacuum advance and block that off, because obviously that will make things a little bit cleaner. So I'll just find something to block that up with. And I will just increase the idle just a smidge, just so it doesn't have a moment on us. I'll find something to block that up with momentarily. Something suitable at least. Nope. What can I use? Chisel. Well, dot punch. Use that just for the meantime. So it's about 700 RPM at the moment. So the springs and everything should be reset inside the distributor. So this will be apparently firing on TDC. So at the moment we are actually firing on TDC. I have a feeling that my timing light is having a moment because I can't use the dial function on it, which it does every now and then. The timing light is about 5 years old, so it's probably just about due to be updated. we'll be back after these messages. 2 minutes later, magically it starts working again, so I don't know. I should just be replacing it. So yeah, at the moment we are idling at being on TDC, and then we'll go through the rev range, make sure the gas analyzer is on, which it is, and it's going all over the show, so I have a feeling one of my O2 sensors is probably on its way out as well, just to add to the chaos. So 19 degrees of ignition timing total, sorry, mechanical, which is fair to say horrible. So I will now wind the idle screw off a wee bit because I know what's going to happen here. Magically the fuel pressure is still dropping, but it's still not as low as I want it. I'll find the appropriate spanner and I'll undo that clamp. And I'll be giving it some advance today. Move it about that much and see where we're at. I'm aiming for about 28 to 29 degrees of ignition timing at the top end, so we'll see what we can do with it. So now I've got it at 7 degrees at idle, so it's at 800 RPM, and I'm just checking it per 1000 RPM as well, just to see what it's doing. Being that it's got a cam in it, I'm wanting to give it about another 5 degrees, so nearly wanting the idle ignition timing to be at about 12 to 13 degrees. Now I only know this because I also recurve distributors, so if you haven't seen that video, so I've got it there sitting at 12 degrees now. I'm going to check it at 2 more degrees dialed into that. So we can get that at about 14 to 15 degrees at idle. And I will just dial the idle mixture back just a little bit more. And I do apologise that you can't actually see too much of what I'm doing. Idle mixture going. That's about 900 RPM. We're sitting at 13. Yeah, I want to go. Just add another couple of degrees in. And only because it's got a cam. It's about knowing what you're doing. Yeah, that's more like it. Yep, happy with that. 29 at the top end. It's going to be a lot nicer. And what I'll do is I will also check to see what the vacuum advance is now doing. So I'll lock that off because I'm happy with the mechanical ignition timing. Now this is something that should have been set up properly to start with. So just pulling a very slight vacuum at idle, I'm not too concerned with. 44 degrees, all in with vacuum advance. I'm happy with that. That's the ignition timing side of it sorted out. Now I'm going to get onto the carburetor now, get that side of it sorted. So now we're going to go, we're going to run it through the rev range and see what it's doing, right up to about 4,000 RPM. I don't want to take it too much higher than that, just simply because it's a fresher engine, although we'll see what it does, because truth be told, at the moment, things haven't been set up very well, and just because I tuned this car last year means absolutely nothing, because the engine's been rebuilt and it's got different specs now. So yeah, we'll check out the fueling and see how good or bad that is. I'll just set up the camera. There it is. There we go. Right, so as you can see, idle. I wanted a higher idle simply because it's got the cam in it, just to keep the velocity going. Although with an SU car they're very forgiving, so I could probably wind it down, but then you end up with valve train wear, faster valve train wear. So anyway, that's already quite rich. And 2.5, yeah, same again. And it's straight into ball wash territory. Yeah, I'm not going to even attempt that, because that's just going to damage the engine. And if that was run at a prolonged time like this, actually, it wouldn't even have to be a prolonged time. It would have to be a drive up the road at 2,500 RPM, so fourth gear, 50 k's an hour. It would be damaging the engine. Yeah, it would feel okay to drive, but it would just be washing the bores. And I mean, I've already taken so much fuel away from it by putting that regulator in. Yeah, so that's absolutely no good in anyone's mind. So let's get that addressed and let's go needle hunting. So, the saga continues. As you can see, I'm now sitting in my 1275 GT. It's now about 6 p.m. I decided to have enough. The mid-tune on that car, it decided, I mean, it's nothing major. The fuel pump didn't want to pump any more fuel, which was fantastic. So obviously I was in the middle of needle hunting. I tried a few needles just to try and find the closest one. I started modifying an AAU needle, and then readings went lean, and that's all she wrote. So that'll be my job tomorrow, is to find out what's happened there, see if the plunger arm is just stuck. Yeah, frustrating to say the least, because I mean the amount of work I've already put into this car to get it so close. I've still got to do a wheel alignment on it too. We've already done a pre-check on that, because you know we put it up on the hoist when we had a few minutes spare. So I had nearly 14 mils of toe in the rear, so that'll chew the tyres out nearly in an instant. So we will get onto addressing that before the customer picks it up. Obviously we've got to do the fuel pump, sort that out. Don't know what's going on there, but we'll find out. And then finish the tune, then the wheel alignment, any more modifications that are needed it'll get, and then yeah, we'll just go from there. So, and then the customer should be able to pick it up Monday next week. So it's Thursday night now, you know, you get the picture. Anyway, I mean I'd love to have that car done for the customer so we could actually drive it, because it's been off the road since March with a multitude of issues. The engine was built in March. Anyway, so yeah, we just want to we want to do right by the customer. We want it on the road. We want it reliable as it can be, and not ruin the engine at the same time. So yeah, if I can, I'll get it done sooner. But obviously, this fuel pump conundrum's really set the tone for the entire car. So anyway, it's probably cursed. We'll get it sorted. But anyway, that's going to be tomorrow's problem. I'm going to sign off now, and we'll see you in the next segment. Right, so it's now Monday. I've sorted out the issue with the fuel supply, so that's all sorted. There was a blockage down there, so I'm absolutely fine with that. So there's no problems with the parts themselves. So yeah, as you can see, I've just got it sitting on 2 psi there. It's a little bit high, but for some reason I just can't get it any lower using this regulator. So it might just be because the pump's putting out too much. We could have tried going up to a bigger size regulator, but that should be, yeah, it should be pretty happy with that. That's a vast improvement to where it was at about 6.5 psi. So anyway, I can continue on with the needle modifications like it was Thursday last week, before it, you know, decided to go lean on me, and yeah, we'll just continue on. So anyway, we'll make some progress on this now. One moment, I'll just turn the microphone on. Should be able to hear me a little bit better now. So anyway, I've been going through needle hunting and needle modifications on this 1100. Obviously I've had some fuel pressure issues. Don't mind him, it's just the apprentice in the corner. I've had some fuel pressure issues. I've now got that down to, still using the same regulator and everything, 1.3 to 1.5 psi. I'm not going to even bother showing you on the camera because it's just too hard to focus, and you guys probably won't see it anyway. But I've now got it sitting here idling at 14 point, well, you know, because it's got a cam in it, it's going to be fluctuating. So as long as I've got it in the window from about 13.5 to 14.5, I'm going to be at least somewhat comfortable with that. And because it's got a standard exhaust on it, it creates another puddle of issues by itself. So anyway, we'll just go through the rev range really quickly with it. Obviously I've still got some other bits and pieces that I still need to do, but I'll just show you how close I've got it so far. And bear in mind, it still doesn't have the air filter on it. So yeah, what I've done there is, so far I've used a AAU needle, and I've modified it in the bits only that it needs to be modified in, so it's part throttle progression and also top end fueling that I've had to add to it. So as you can see, the regulator sitting here over here all nicely. I'm going to get the air filter onto it here, which I've got a new one for it because it's still a dirty old original, which I don't even want to know how much it's going to change it, but we'll get that on. I'll firstly make some modifications to the damper, see what I can do there, work out which oil it's going to need, and then we'll get on to the correction for the airflow via the very restrictive airbox, typically the very restrictive airbox. So anyway, come back to you in a moment. You just see I've got the bottom of the air filter housing on, so I'm just going to go through and start doing the corrections. I've done the damper side of it, I'm really happy with that. So this is the old air filter that was in it, so it's not terrible, but you can see that there the pleats are very close together, but not only that, but yeah, it is old. So we get rid of that, and here is a brand new Ryco filter. It's a little bit hard to tell, the pleats are a little bit wider on the inside of this, but obviously with the wire mesh in there, it's basically going to probably have the same kind of effect. So we'll get that in there. Oh, snug as a bug and rug. Let's stick that over here for the meantime. And yes, I have checked the O-ring on the bottom there as well. Alright, snap that together. Put it in there like so. What's going on here? Was too sure it's why that's not quite screwing on. That's better. Don't know what was going on there. So at the moment we're idling at 14.2. Now with the airbox on and all snug and tight. Yeah, no real change. We'll just go up through the rev range now again and just see how much richer that air filter is going to make it. I will drill a couple of holes in the bottom of the airbox just to increase some flow, because you can just see it's a little bit rich near the top end where it's just struggling to get the volume through. So I'll do that, and you'll take it for a road test. So I've just been out for a drive in the wee Clubman. We're going to pull a couple of spark plugs out and see what they're like. Now I did take it for about a 7-kilometre drive. Certainly not bad. It is starting to clean up, starting to go white, a little bit white around the porcelain, which is really good to see. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Let's pull out cylinder 3 and see what that one's like. Now, bear in mind, the colours didn't look too bad to start with. So we will get a longer drive in this, or we'll send the customer out in it and see what he thinks, and see if we can get another colour check after a longer drive. Yeah, there we go. Cylinder 3. Starting to clean up really nicely. Good burn line developing on the electrode too. So I'm really happy with this. Seems to go really well now, which I'm really pleased with. and so it should for a brand new engine. So anyway, we'll get the wheel alignment done on it because there were some corrections to do on the rear, and some toe adjustments on the front. I had 14 mils of toe in total in the rear, so we'll get on to addressing that and do a wheel alignment on it, and then get the customer back in his car because it's been since March. So anyway, that's not our fault, that's not his fault, so that's is what it is. Anyway, we'll see you in the next piece. Andy's just been for a drive in the W1100 Clubman. See what he has to say for himself.
This ain't my car.
Isn't it?
That's smooth, it's quiet, it doesn't bog, and God it goes.
Yeah?
It's not my car. That's not my car. It is the car I've always wanted,
Yeah.
but it ain't my car. The problems, the falling out of love, I've been ready to sell it, and yeah, no, it's exactly what I wanted out of a original looking Mini.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So obviously we had a look at this last year, and we came to the conclusion that it needed some extra work, and you've had that work done, and now it's back to the tune to have all sorted out. I mean, I think this is what, your fourth car that you've brought to me now?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
Fourth tune.
Fourth tune, and still impressed?
More impressed every time. I actually don't have words. The car that drove in here and the car that is driving out is literally night and day difference.
Yeah.
It doesn't stink of fuel, but the whole car is quieter. It used to sound and feel very harsh and mechanical, like even vibrations.
Yeah.
All gone. Completely gone.
Quieter exhaust note now?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. It's not trying to stall at intersections. It just comes down to idle. But the power, it doesn't bog. It's just on song.
Yeah. I did wind about 14 degrees of advance into this because it was firing at TDC. The advance curve is a little bit lacking around mid-range, but I'm absolutely happy with that at the moment.
Yep.
So, and considering it's lacking around mid-range on how well it goes with the fueling and everything, it is quite a custom needle that I've done for it as well. So yeah, I mean, by my standards, it goes really well. I'm really happy with it now.
I mean, for a car that's standard exhaust,
standard intake.
Yeah. There's obviously a little bit more in there.
Yeah,
but for
definitely.
how it goes now, I'm blown away.
Yeah.
I'm absolutely stunned.
Yeah.
I was not expecting an 1100 with a cam to go like that. That is crazy.
Yeah, and considering we don't actually know what the camshaft is that's in it, it's just a Cooper cam as such.
I'm concerned that this is now my fastest Mini, if I'm honest.
Yeah, because we've got this. We'll talk about it. Okay, so obviously you're impressed with how this one's gone, and now we've got this one back. So this one I've already had in one of my videos previously, just for some maintenance work. So a new set of leads in there. It's got a CSI distributor. But just run us through what we're doing with this one, Andy.
Well, this is the big prep for pork pie.
Yep.
About 5,000 odd Ks in 2 weeks. So pretty much anything it needs, it's getting. The head's coming off it. You guys are doing new radiator, heater core, brakes. I'm trying to remember, but the list is quite long.
I think there's a couple of wheel bearings as well.
Yeah, tyres. Basically, you name it, it's getting done purely because this car's done the North Island before. I believe it can do it again on a 30-year-old motor, but there's a lot of preventative maintenance, shall we call it?
Yes. Well, there's a lot of maintenance to be caught up on as well, especially with those carbs on how they've been.
Carb rebuild. That one.
Yeah. So we'll go through those after we've done the cylinder head and everything else as normal. But yeah, that'll be another video for another day.
Yes.
And then obviously you'll be standing here again in front of your in front of your fifth car.
Actually, yeah, that's a point. This one's never been tuned.
Yeah, no, I haven't actually tuned this one. I've just done some maintenance on this one. So yeah, this is the Wolseley Hornet opposed to the Riley Elf. So a bit of a road race of this one. We will be doing a video on this. But anyway, as usual, I must ask the question. It's a bit of a pointless question at this point. Would you recommend it?
Absolutely. It's definitely going to be 5 for 5, but I just, wow. I don't have words. It is unbelievable, the difference. And I'm really looking forward to seeing the economy that I'm going to notice too.
Yes. So, no, it'll be a very good car on the road now. So we've got everything dialed in, including the wheel alignment. So, many heavy miles to be had now.
Absolutely, money well spent. Thank you very, very much.
No worries. We'll talk to you when we do this one.
Absolutely.
Sweet. Thank you for bringing it in.
Thank you.